the Golden State Warriors lost to the Phoenix Suns in the second round of the play-in, officially missing the playoffs. If you look strictly at their spending and expectations, the Warriors paid $67.9 million in luxury tax this season, second in the league, just $800,000 less than the Cleveland Cavaliers. To fall short like this is, without question, disappointing. So where exactly did things go wrong this season? Like the Los Angeles Clippers, the Warriors never truly figured out their roster construction. Their biggest offseason addition was 39-year-old Al Horford. Yes, in the play-in opener, Horford hit 4 threes in the fourth quarter and was the key factor in their comeback win over the Clippers. But performances like that aren't sustainable. At 39, even getting through the regular season is a challenge, let alone the playoffs. After parting ways with Jonathan Kuminga mid-season, the Warriors traded for 30-year-old Kristaps Porzingis. Compared to Horford, Porzingis is younger, but given his age and injury history, it's unrealistic to expect him to anchor the paint. For some reason, the Warriors front office keeps leaning toward older players, from Chris Paul to Jimmy Butler, and now Horford and Porzingis this season. These players can still give you something in the short term, but aside from Butler, most struggle with durability and stamina. As a result, the Warriors constantly had multiple defensive weak spots on the floor. Veterans are also more prone to injuries. Add in Draymond Green's decline, and the team's rim protection became a major issue. They could score, but they couldn't get stops, and if you can't defend, your offense doesn't matter much. Perimeter defense wasn't any better. With Butler and Moses Moody out for the season, and Kuminga traded away, the Warriors had no reliable point of attack defender. At times, they were even asking Brandon Podziemski to guard opposing stars. That's simply not his role, and not what he's built for. The roster was already unbalanced and lacked depth, and Steve Kerr never fully figured out the rotations. Across 82 regular season games, the Warriors used 43 different starting lineups. At that point, it felt like they were constantly searching for answers. Even in the final 5 games of the season, Kerr was still testing combinations. 5 games, 5 different starting units. Yes, injuries were a factor, but the head coach still needs a clear plan. Instead, players went into games not knowing their roles, minutes, or even positions. And if players don't know what to expect, how can they be ready? Take Pat Spencer, for example. His numbers, 7.2 points and 3.5 assists, aren't flashy, but he's steady. He played 66 games, started 14, and handled a large share of ball-handling duties. By the second half of the season, he had essentially become the team's primary point guard. The Warriors even converted his two-way contract, clearly signaling playoff intentions. And then what happened? He didn't play in the first play-in game. In the second game, he only checked in for 1 minute and 6 seconds, when the game was already decided. It's not that giving Spencer more control would guarantee a win, but it shows that even Kerr hadn't fully figured out his own lineup. Injuries were another major factor. With Butler and Moody both out, the Warriors were left with only one true offensive engine, Stephen Curry. That made defensive game planning simple. Stop Curry, and you stop the Warriors. That's why in the play-in, you saw Podziemski forced into a primary playmaking role, and DeAnthony Melton taking on inefficient isolation possessions. Injuries also wrecked their salary structure. Butler made $54.13 million, Moody $11.57 million, nearly $66 million combined sitting out. That left the front office with no flexibility to improve the roster. Injuries absolutely derailed this season. But at the root, those injuries were also tied to poor roster construction and questionable usage. For example, in Moody's first game back from injury, he played 35 minutes, including overtime. That's simply not how you manage a player coming back from a long layoff. At the end of the day, the Warriors' season is over. Another year of Stephen Curry has been wasted. This roster, as currently built, needs a major overhaul this summer. Because the real question is, how many elite years does Curry still have left?